Video James. Wow, it's so... Oh, oh. So, the last episode had a little bit of a whoopsie doodle happened, wherein I fully didn't record any audio, and also I fully didn't record any audio, and then the last 10 minutes didn't record the actual game footage. So, that could have gone better. I'm going to go turn in the skull I found to Patchouli. And also, it's just a fun excuse to hang out with Patchouli. This is still my favorite environment in the game. I fucking love this place. I wish the actual, like, treetop area was bigger, because it feels like so much of the area is the root, like, underground area. But also in a game like this, having an underground, it makes sense. Bah, bah, bah. There's a new Fire Emblem game coming out. I'm a Fire Emblem fan. I like Fire Emblem games, against my better judgment. That's mean, but true. Fire Emblem is a pretty good game series overall. I'm glad Super Smash Brothers got people into it. When I was younger, even though I fully knew what it was, I was one of the only 6-year-olds on the block playing Melee who knew what Fire Emblem was, because I had an older brother. But he kind of, he didn't like anime other than Dragon Ball Z, so anything that looked like anime, I, as an extension, didn't like, because I just kind of had his interests mirrored. So I never played it until Awakening. I got, because my friend JD got it, and I played it on his 3DS, and I was like, oh shit, this actually looks fun. And it was. And I hold to this day that Fire Emblem Awakening is my favorite Fire Emblem game. Is that sentimental value because it was my first? I'm not going to say nostalgia because I was 12, and hasn't been long enough for me to categorize that as nostalgia. But is it reasonable for it to be my favorite? Not entirely. It is a great game. It may be the best one, but because it was my first, I don't feel comfortable referring to it as such, if that makes sense. If I were going to pick a best one, I might say Sacred Stones. Really great. Love that one almost as much as I love Awakening. If not more so, frankly. But I played Awakening. It was great. And then I went back. I played all of the Game Boy Advance ones through a combination of, emulation and the Wii U eShop. That's not even true. Before any of them were on the Wii U eShop, I played Sacred Stones because I got it used at a Second and Charles. Second and Charles, by the way, shout out, great used games collection. I got so many, like, relatively rare Game Boy Advance games for a good price. I got Klonoa Kingdom of Dreams, or Empire of Dreams, for like $20. Great game. My first Klonoa game, because of how difficult it was to get Klonoa games. Oop. I made another whoopsie doodle. I stepped away and got dead. Whoops. Ooh. I just had to carry a bunch of stuff up the stairs. I'm currently pursuing a master's degree in business. So I'm living at home. So if my mom asks me to do something, I'm gonna do it. I'm not a freeloader. But it is not fun being the strongest person in the house and having to carry stuff up the stairs. Ugh. Oh, I cut the bridge. Shit. That's the danger of long range in here. Yeah, I've been told by people that I have the best used game store luck they've ever seen. And I wouldn't argue with that. Because, like, have I been here? I've been here. Um, Second and Charles, I get Klonoa Empire of Dreams, $15. Golden Sun, $20. Fire Emblem the Sacred Stones, $20. All of those are games that are more expensive than that now. I also, at Second Charles, got the full, like, box set of Legend of Dragoon and Final Fantasy Tactics. Legend of Dragoon was $40, but I think it was worth it. Final Fantasy Tactics was $50, but I still think it was worth it because it was cheaper than buying. I have a PS1. It was cheaper than buying a PSP. Even though I did eventually buy a PS3 specifically to play old PlayStation 1 and 2 games. Why did I buy a PS3? Oh, that's right. I found a PS3 for $100 alongside a copy of Ratchet and Clank Tools of Destruction for $20. Another good find. And then soon after, at a different local game store called Sage Mantis in Fredericksburg, I found Dot Hack Infection, Wild Arms 3, some other PlayStation 2 RPG that was good that I don't remember the name of. And then in Ellicott City in Maryland at a used game store, I found Dragon Quest VII in box. So I am a used game store RPG magnet. I haven't actually played a lot of my games even. Like, I have a PS3 for playing these old games. Also to play the Ratchet and Clank games that never got ports and the first Klonoa game. But I haven't played that many of them because I just have so many games. And also there's one TV to put game consoles on. And it's like, me and my little brother already fight over whether or not my Switch or the PS5 is going to be on the TV. I don't need to add the PS3 into the mix. That's my backup when I finally move out and I don't have a PS5 anymore, because technically it's my younger brother's. I actually just got a Switch OLED recently because mine broke. I got it launch year, and by 2020, I had broken it because I had not a lofted bed, but a pretty high up bed, and I fell asleep with my Switch in the bed, and it fell off. And I could still play it, but the Joy-Cons didn't connect anymore, so I couldn't play it in handheld mode unless I was just, like, I guess putting it at a desk with a controller to connect to it, which is, like, why would I do that? So it's so nice to finally be able to play games in handheld mode again. It's like I just beat Fire Emblem Three Houses for the first time because that's the kind of game I like to play in handheld mode instead of on the screen. And I can play it now. That's right, I was talking about Fire Emblem, wasn't I? Fire Emblem Three Houses is probably tied with Fates for my least favorite Fire Emblem game. Like, I love Awakening. It has a really good story and characters. It introduced really cool mechanics, like the pair-up thing that I really like, even if it was broken. Having supports be able to lead, like the time travel plot. Normally, time travel in games I'm not a huge fan of. Not every game can be Chrono Trigger. But I think Awakening did a really good job with the time travel, and I especially think the characters that you get, like, to marry each other, being able to have kids that you can recruit because they travel back in time, is a really cute idea. And I actually hate that Fates tried to cop the same thing because it makes Awakening feel like it has less of its own unique identity. But Fates did it really badly, so I don't really... It's not comparable. Awakening is great. It has the best, the best Avatar character. Like, Robin is leaps and bounds better than Corrin. Oh shoot, wrong one. Damn it, go away. There we go. Earth Strike, interesting. Corrin is a bad character with no personality, but not as bad as Byleth, who doesn't even talk. Which I understand Three Houses was trying to go for like a persona thing, but I don't think it works, especially when you're playing as the secret special chosen one who is like fused with a goddess. I don't think it works super well. Um, Awakening is good. It's got good characters. It's got a really good plot. The specific chapter right after Crom's sister, spoilers and trigger warning, I guess. Crom's older sister is, you guys are put in a bad spot, and she kills herself to prevent Crom from, like, pretty much the choices imposed on Crom and the army that they can save her or they can protect the city as a whole. And if they save her, it's likely that the entire city will fall. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I played it. She kills herself to take that choice away from Crom. She says, "You are going to keep our people safe because my life is not worth more than theirs," which is impactful. That's a powerful moment. And then the immediate next mission, you have to like go out onto the battlefield again, and the people you're fighting are not happy about it. Like, the opening cutscene before the fight has them giving their condolences to Crom and being like, "Yeah, man, we're both trying to do what's right for our kingdoms, but this feels bad." It's a it's very memorable. I will always remember the cutscene and the music and the voice acting of that storytelling moment. And there's other moments like that in the game. It's got really good pacing. It's just a good game. And I'm so happy, on the one hand, that it helped Fire Emblem become as popular as it did. But on the other hand, part of me hates Awakening for being as good as it was, because the next games really tried to cash in on everything that people liked about Awakening, because Fates is a fucking mess of a video game. Fates is, if memory serves, the first game to start really leaning into some, like, Fire Emblem has always been an anime game. There's always been the fucking awful trope of this girl looks like she's 11, but she's actually an ageless dragon or whatever the hell. That's a bad trope for gross people, and Fire Emblem has always fallen fucking prey to it. But, like, Fates just starts to get shamelessly horny. Like, there's a weird incest vibe. There's a flirtatious, half-naked older sister character. And it just gets all the things that I don't like about anime, which every genre, like every culture's, like, offerings in a specific medium are going to have culturally specific horrible things. I won't pretend American media is better than anime. They're just bad in different ways. And Fire Emblem Fates has more of the ways that anime is bad. The perv shit. The specifically, Japanese perv shit. And American big titty half naked perv shit. It's nasty. I hate it. Fates isn't a horrible game, The plot is interesting. A game where a member of a royal house finds out they were kidnapped from a different nation at a young age and is forced to choose between the admittedly imperialist nation, but the one they were raised by, or this nation of strangers that you're blood related to and who also seem like nicer people in general. That's an interesting premise for a game. I really like that. But it's flawed because both paths feel like they had half of the time spent writing them. I chose Birthright my first time, and I'm glad I did because I consider it the better of the two. Conquest, Takumi being the villain is really interesting, but that's the only positive I can think to say for Conquest's plot. Otherwise, it's just more extremely generic. I have no idea where I am, by the way. I'm trying to find Patchouli. I don't know what's happening. But Conquest is just a pretty generic story with I can't remember any fucking stuff that happens in it other than Takumi, his whole arc, which is pretty cool. I like him as a villain, but also the way he turns evil is stupid. Revelations, I don't even want to get started. Did you guys know there's a secret third route where it turns out there's like this magical alternate dimension kingdom and you don't have to pick a side because there are no hard choices and you get to recruit everyone from both sides to fight an evil space dragon? It actually is. It's Conquest is probably mechanically the most sound. It's the hardest of the three. You know, different missions actually have interesting like completion requirements beyond just fight every guy, but the plot is so lame and the characters are very forgettable. Birthright has a more interesting plot and more interesting characters. It's also just like a much more interesting setting and aesthetic. Like feudal Japan fantasy is extremely cool, and maybe I'll talk about how desperately I want a standalone sequel to Birthright someday. But it is the easiest, you know. It's kind of you pick it and you're picking easy mode, and that's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with that, but it's probably the least fun because of that. And that's for me. I like to play, you know, generally I play modern Fire Emblem games on hard mode, but also with permadeath off. I just find that that's how I like to play them. I don't think permadeath adds enough for me, or at least I didn't used to. Ever since Echoes came out and added the limited rewind feature, I do play with permadeath. But Fates doesn't have that, and neither does Awakening. So I play with permadeath off. And I like to, you know, be forced to strategize. I like when I realize I've made a bad choice and could have made a different one, and then I go back if I lose or lose a powerful unit, and I make a different choice and I get to see it work out. I also like when I devise a strategy and it works. It's a good feeling. I like strategy games because I like to strategize. So, uh, Birthright being the easiest is disappointing for me. I like the story, I like the setting, I like the characters, but it just is a little too easy for me, even on hard mode. I guess I could turn on permadeath, but I don't want to. I've always found permadeath to be sort of like an artificial. I like Pyrrhic victories. Oh, did I finally? Yes, 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 yes. I like this design. The antlers are nice. She's not like horny. It's a pretty dress. I like you, Patchouli. I got it. That's funny as hell. She wanted the skull to use as a planter. This is a good game. Alright, where's that Earth Elixir? I don't have this anymore. Yeah, 0. Okay, Earth Elixir. 40 plus max health? Hell yes. Ooh. Goes down smooth, baby. Conquest has a completely unmemorable cast and plot, but it's, challenging, which I like. Revelations is easy and the plot sucks, but it's kind of more fun that way. Like, Revelations is impossible to take seriously. It's the silliest Fire Emblem game by far. The circumstances, it's a ridiculous game, and I like that. I like that it's hard to take seriously because there's so much crazy shit happening all the time. And I like getting to pair characters from different paths with each other, even though, you know, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I like seeing supports between people from different nations. It's very fan fiction-y. That's actually the perfect way to describe Revelations. What if instead of fighting, the two nations had to come together to fight like a space dragon, and their base of operations was a secret third kingdom in like a sky island? That's very fan fiction-y, and I say that with love. It's wish fulfillment and self-indulgent, and it's very fun. But just objectively, the plot is pretty rough. And a lot of the characters, when taken outside of their, you know, original settings and plots, don't have much to do, or just come off as like very artificially written. But it's still fun. But Birthright is the best of the three, in my opinion, because even though it is pretty easy and like slightly less fun because of that, it's never like boring. I always am still having fun with it. And I forgot about that. The Japanese setting is so cool. Medieval Europe, I'm getting tired of it, folks. I didn't like Game of Thrones. I'm getting sick of medieval Europe as a setting. Is that wrong of me? Is it wrong to be tired? So the setting of Hoshido as this fantasy feudal Japan is dope as hell. And it doesn't even drastically change the mechanics of Fire Emblem. Instead of regular sword fighters and mercenaries, you have samurai. Instead of like cavaliers, you have the spear fighters. Instead of what's them fucking you have like these club wielding barbarians instead of, oh shit, how do I get back? I guess I have to use a crystal, or I could climb into the canopy to reload the bridge. I'm just gonna use the crystal. Oh, I only have one? Never mind. Shit. Okay. Yeah, I guess I have to find that vine that takes me up just so I can get that loading screen to reload the bridge. Maybe that'll work? Huh. I've got myself into a pickle. Mages are replaced with diviners who, instead of casting elemental spells, are able to summon the spirits of great beasts. You've still got like archers. They use Japanese bows called yumi, but they're still archers. But it's just really cool to see the ways that, like, and a lot of these weapons are mechanically different, even if they fulfill the same role. A katana, a naginata, and a club are fulfilling the same mechanical purpose as European style swords, spears, and axes, but they have like minor stat differences that are really fun. I'm talking myself up to playing Birthright again if I can figure out how to emulate 3DS games. And I want more of it, I would love to see that setting again, because Birthright is good, but I want I want a game that's in that setting and is only that setting. They don't, because I feel like its resources were spread too thin. That's enough of me complaining about Fates. It's fine. I just know Fire Emblem can do better. Echoes is great. You know, it's the best looking Fire Emblem game, in my opinion. I really like the art style. I wish it had become. I mean, I feel like the Fire Emblem art style has generally, in my opinion, oh my god. Has this always been here? Oh my god. If that's always been there, I'm pretty stupid. But the Fire Emblem art style isn't generic anime. You know, generally it reflects anime of the time, but I feel like Echoes is the least anime, and I kind of like it. I think it fits the setting really well. It's got like this rustic art style. Um, I mean, Awakening also has a good art style. I feel like another problem with Fates is it reuses, like literally word for word, reuses entire character designs. You can definitely tell that, like, you can definitely tell they were stretching their resources thin. Summon fairy, blah, blah, blah. Which is unfortunate, you know, but literally same face characters from Awakening are just in Fates. It's lame. And the pocket dimension thing is terrible. I get that a lot of people really liked that people could have kids in. Did that hurt me? Okay, cool. A lot of people really liked that people could have kids in Awakening. You know, it adds more worth to the support system beyond just getting a bonus when you're on an adjacent tile. And it also justified the pair up mechanic more because it builds support quicker. But at the same time, I feel like it encouraged you to just max out one support and then be paired off forever instead of, you know, getting supports with different people, seeing how their relationships go, and like making it so no matter who you're next to on the map, you're still getting bonuses. I always thought, and I don't think that either of those systems is better, you know, removing it. Oh my fucking god. Holy shit. That, oh my god. Okay. That scared me in real life. Jesus Christ. I don't even remember. That's right. I like the pair up mechanic, but I think it and being able to have kids through time travel should have stayed in Awakening, you know? That's Awakening's identity. Radiant Dawn and Path of Radiance have the unique identity of those like cool animal people. No other Fire Emblem game has as big a focus on the like shapeshifter characters. They're very important to the lore of that setting beyond just Magic Dragon people, which I like a lot. What are you attacking? Oh, I forgot how unnerving the fairies were for always attacking things I can't see. The Smile is Red. I don't like that name for this song. Um, so yeah, the pair up mechanic I think worked as a unique thing for Awakening. And if there had been a direct sequel to Awakening, I would have, you know, enjoyed seeing it return. But it just felt like Fates was Nintendo, I guess not even Nintendo, Intelligent Systems trying desperately to hold on to what made Awakening popular. And on one hand, I can understand that because if your games aren't popular and then all of a sudden they are, you want to do what made them popular again. But it just didn't really work. It didn't fit. Everything made sense in Awakening. The game was built around those mechanics. So the explanations for why is there just some money down here? I guess my fairy must have killed something. Yay. Oh, it's unnerving. It just feels shoehorned in. And Three Houses is weird in that it has potentially the most focus on the support system of any Fire Emblem game because of, the tea time and all that shit. And it's also the Fire Emblem game where no one can have kids and you can't pair up. I like the pair up mechanic. It's a little busted, but I think it could have been balanced. At the same time, I also really like the adjutant, is that how I pronounced it? Adjutant system in Three Houses. I think it's a cool way to incentivize using units that wouldn't be used otherwise. If you have a low level unit, you can just have them support a unit in battle instead of going out on their own, and they can still, passively accrue levels and get stronger even if they're not directly on the field. I like that system. I don't know if you get bonuses based on pairing with, having an adjutant that you have a good support score with. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, but also if it is, it doesn't have a big enough effect for me to have noticed it. But it's just... the game... Oh, I just went in a big circle. The game with the biggest focus on, there's the returning lost items, giving people gifts, spending personal time with them on your day off. And it's also the game where the last month you just sort of get a window saying, who do I want to marry? It's very unceremonious. It feels like it was kind of added in as an afterthought. I feel like the marriage in the game is kind of lame. I do like the adjutant system. I miss pairing up. Do I have any other talking points in this video where I guess I just talk about Fire Emblem a bunch? Where is this? So, Peasant Graves, Commoner Crypts. Let's go Commoner Crypts. I don't think Three Houses is a bad game. I kind of don't like the story for personal reasons. It feels like... What the fuck was that noise? So that's not a lightning door, okay. How do I get in there? Oh, is that a lever? Is there a secret door in here? Secret tunnel, through the mountains. Secret, 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 secret tunnel. Nope. Huh. Why did I come here? And what was that flash of light? Ugh. Every time something happens and I don't know exactly why it happens, I just get such a feeling of dread. What are you going after? There's nothing here. Yeah, no secret doors. Okay. I feel like JRPGs are beyond the fantasy tropes of good monarchy versus bad monarchy. We've had enough games where you kill God that I feel like we're beyond that. And speaking of killing God, in Fire Emblem Three Houses, the theocratic, the theocracy is right. You know, it's weird. Edelgard's whole thing is that she doesn't want the church to be in control. She thinks people should control the fate of the world instead of gods because there's more people. People are the majority. And I agree with all of that. But she's the villain because she dresses up in silly red clothes that mark her as evil. What am I fucking doing wrong, man? And like, she is bad. She goes around killing people and plotting assassinations and stuff, but also, isn't that how rebellion has to go? You have to kill your oppressors. So it's like, she's very much framed as the villain, but why isn't there... Isn't there a Scully boy? Yeah. Why isn't there a plot option where all three people can team up against the church? I don't want to support the church, but the only option I have is to then go against everyone. And then there's fucking Claude, who is against everyone except the church. You defeat Edelgard, and you defeat the people who live underground and don't like the gods, and it's like, why? It feels like the game. It feels like, especially since to support Edelgard, you have to actively go against the game in some ways. Like, you have to have a support with Edelgard at a certain level and meet specific requirements to be able to support Edelgard, or else the game will have you like change your mind at the last second after picking her and go with the church instead. So it feels like I have to go out of my way to pick the evil route, even though it's what I believe in, is that church shouldn't rule. Ugh. I'm overthinking it, but I do think that that is a serious flaw. And also, there's one of those sick, nasty motherfuckers. Oh my god, there's so many of them. What the fuck? Why was there so many of them? Oh my god. Is this the lightning door? Yes, it is. Cool. I like Claude's route, you know. He takes out Edelgard for her crimes against humanity, and he takes out, like, the evil underground mole people, but he also doesn't, like, necessarily actively choose the side of the church. Like, he's not doing it for the church, he's just doing it because they are causing a ruckus. I am glad that, like, in pretty much every ending, Rhea resigns, because I don't like the idea of a dragon woman being the head of the church that controls a significant portion of the government. I don't want a theocracy. I just don't want it. And I don't want this game to act like that's good. There is no good monarchy. Fire Emblem games need to move beyond the good monarchy versus bad monarchy narrative just because one of them is a snake man. Like, the other guy's white, and that's not better. I think that Hoshi, like, Birthright, because it doesn't fall victim to good monarchy versus bad. I mean, it does fall victim to good monarchy versus bad monarchy narrative, but in this specific, like, context, the bad monarchy is colonizers and imperialists. And, like, yeah, Japan was an imperialist nation and is still one, but I don't know. It's always good to have the villain be the stereotypical European nation. So I would love to see a return to Hoshido where you are like, where am I? What the fuck is happening here? Like, either just pure conflict within Hoshido, or, fighting imperialism. Because good monarchy versus bad monarchy is out. So says I, Aspen, a casual Fire Emblem fan. Haven't even played the Teleor series. I'd like to. Haven't figured out. It's not even true. I haven't taken the time to get like a Dolphin emulator working on my laptop yet. But when I do, I'll definitely play the Teleor series. Where am I? Bitch bastard. What am I doing down here, by the way? Am I looking for something? There's got to be a reason I came down here, right? I'm pretty sure I came through that way already. Got to keep a fairy on me at all times. Yeah, I came through that way already. So I guess I go back into that little maze section. The holy water is interesting, but I don't know if it does anything. Wasn't there a secret door? I guess I lost it. Ooh, that's an item. I really like sacred stones, but then again, Dark Skull. Ooh. I just really like the Game Boy Advance games in general, and a big portion of that is that I just like looking at them. The sprite work in the GBA Fire Emblem games is legendary. It looks so good. The animations are so crisp and smooth and clean, and I really miss sprite work being like the primary art style in those games. I just think it looks great, and it gave Fire Emblem a lot of its identity. Vaguely cel-shaded 3D models isn't what I think of when I think Fire Emblem. Clean, well-animated sprites are. So, I do miss that. I would love it if one day it came back. There we go. Thank you. Got 2 fairies, because there's a lot of ectoplasms down here, and I don't feel like equipping Bloodstrike. Cursed Blade. Interesting. Okay. That's a dead end. Also a dead end. Take a left up at the fork, at the crossroads, I mean. There we go. Big money. There's something bad down here. I can feel it in my bones. I got quiet because I don't trust being handed a bunch of good items in an empty room. Something bad is nearby. I know it. Sacred Stones has a pretty good plot, and it did the split. It did the make a decision thing. I think I don't like when I complain about Fates and Three Houses having half-baked plots. I don't think that a choice that splits the direction of the story is a... Excuse me? Excuse me? What the fuck do you mean death approaches? What's that noise? Is that death? Yeah, no. No, I won't. I won't do it. No, absolutely not. Alright, I'm not going back into those fucking tombs. I hate it down there. I won't go back. You can't make me. You know what? I have got what I needed. Maybe there's more stuff down there. Who's to say? I don't want any of it. I just, Death approaches? Are you kidding me? I'm not gonna do that. I won't do it. Ugh, I feel gross. I feel gross. I didn't like that. I don't want to do it again. And I'm not going back down there. Yeah, let me try some alchemy, man. Do I have any lotus seed pod? Yeah, do I have the opal? 4? I can work with that. Yellow moral? 50. Jesus Christ. Alright, 20 health potions. That's a good amount. That's a good amount, right? They were so hard to come by at the beginning, and now it feels like I've got too many of them. Yeah, I've got a lot of good items. Yeah. Alright. You got anything? See, cute design. Like this design. Would love to play as her in a fighting game. Yes, you did. Alright. There's a new area for me to visit now that I know that I can jump using the... Oop, warp, wrong place. That's okay. Everyone play Fire Emblem Sacred Stones. It's a great game. It really, unironically, is great. As soon as I have finished the 3 main plots of 3 houses, I am going to emulate Sacred Stones again, and probably Binding Blade and Blazing Blade as well, because they're good games. Oh, this is the wrong direction. Erica and Ephraim aren't exactly the most interesting protagonists. They're good. I like their sibling relationship. I think it's a hell of a lot better written than the family relationships in Fates. No, I won't stop talking about it, but they're not doing anything groundbreaking, you know? Separated siblings going on 2 adventures and then reuniting towards the end. That's not groundbreaking stuff. I like it, but it's not groundbreaking. But it's still good. It's got a really solid plot, you know? And I think part of that is just that I can excuse a game from the early 2000s having a good monarchy versus bad monarchy, and the pages floating through the air. Oh, and here too. Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Oh, this is awesome. I love this place. I love this. This is really cool. Ooh. Oh my god, I really like this a lot. This is a gorgeous location. Oh, I'm gonna have so much fun. And it's not dark or anything. Oh, I'm excited now. I'm gonna end the video here because, you know, it's about to be an hour long if it isn't already, but this is dope. I'm excited to explore this place. Oh my god, the music is so good. Okay, I'm really excited to come back to this. Oh, thank you for listening to me talk about Fire Emblem for just a frankly ridiculous length of time. I promise that in the future, I will do more talking about the game I'm playing. Although realistically in the future, I'm just going to talk about D&D more. I don't even want to... Usually I go back to the title screen. Just like, say goodbye to the video. I don't want to. I love this video, this music. Ooh! Ooh! I really like the forest, but I think this is my new favorite area. Alright. Good night, everybody. Make good choices and treat each other kindly.